What's up, folks, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pilot Review Show. I am Captain Blade J52, and I am joined by Teacher Kirby.
Hello, folks. How's it going tonight?
And Artie's off doing Christmas things, and I'm pretty sure Neela's doing the same as well, so it's just the two of us again this week. But, I do want to go ahead and say for everybody out there, we do hope you're enjoying your holidays, staying safe, warm, plenty of food, all that good stuff. But,
Yes.
let's go ahead
Happy
and...
holidays.
Indeed. But let's go ahead and get started. We're running a little bit behind this go around. Totally my fault. But
Yep.
let's go ahead
He had to
and
make sure that his sweater matched his shoes, space Barbie
that kind of
things.
stuff. But for our first thing that we have the Zen bonus as well as the sales that are going on for PC and I believe also for PS4 at the moment. But
They are a little different, but so let's go through the PC
all right, we'll check out
first.
PC. So
Yeah.
a couple times a year, they usually bring around the Zen charging bonus, where in addition to any normal bonuses you would get on Zen, you can get a tiered bonus. It's such as if you're purchasing a 1,000 Zen or a $10 package, you will get 15% bonus Zen, whereas normally you wouldn't. Now, if you buy one of the higher tier packages, such as the $50, $100, or even the $200 package, you get the regular bonus, such as, say, the $50 package, you would normally get about 300 extra bonus Zen. Well, not only do you get that 300 Zen bonus, but you also get a 20% bonus while this is going on. So not only do you get the regular, but you get to benefit from it twice, so that's a very good thing. And then we have
Yes.
some of our expansion packs, if anybody's been interested in those, such as the Temporal packs, the old Legacy of Romulus packs, or even the Delta Rising Operations pack. Those are 50% off of their normal price. So,
Now,
oh, go ahead.
it is important to note this is not through Zen purchase. This is only through cash purchases. We actually had this come up on my TeamSpeak. So, if you do want to purchase it, you have to go into the ARC website and order it for cash only through there. So this is not a C-store purchase for Zen. This is for cash only through the ARC website.
Indeed, definitely some good information to keep in mind there from
Yeah.
Teacher Kirby. So, yeah, if you're looking to buy one of these packs, they definitely have some pretty good stuff in them, especially the Temporal Agent and the Delta Rising. I did like the Legacy of Romulus packs. The only downside to them is they don't have any Tier 6 ships, if that's what you're looking for. But even then, the Tier 5 ships are pretty good in my personal opinion that they have. So definitely keep in
Yeah.
mind, the Zen bonus you will get for the C-Store. In order to purchase one of these big packs, you will have to go through the ARC website, as Teacher said. Then,
Yep.
in addition to these pack purchases and the bonus Zen, all C-Store items are 20% off.
No, all C-store ships.
All C-Store ships, my bad.
Yeah.
But there are
So
some
that
sales
does
going on
include-
for various other items as well. But
Yep. So that does include bundles which are comprised of only ships. So if it's a mixed bundle, it does not have the discount. Okay? So that is important to know. And then ship upgrade tokens and ship upgrade token bundles, as well as fleet modules and dry docks, are all 20% off as well.
And the good thing that they did bring as well, which a lot of people ask about this from time to time when the sales do crop up, is if you're purchasing an older Tier 5 ship, let's say, hypothetically for a Romulan, you're purchasing the Tier 5 Dideridex, then you will get a free upgrade token that will come with the ship, so you can take it straight to Tier 5U. I know that's a big thing that a lot of people ask about whenever they bring out the sales, and they usually specify, and they definitely did in this case, Now, in order to claim the ship token, all you have to do is go to your promotions once you purchase the ship, and you should see a token that you can claim in there. Now, if you buy, one thing I do want people to keep in mind, if you buy a pack of them, such as, say, the Dyson Mega Bundle, then you will be able to claim 9 tokens for the 9 individual ships. So it's every single Tier 5 ship that's eligible for an upgrade you will get this for. Then they also brought back...
The other thing I want to note, it says this only occurs when the Tier 5 ship is bought for the first time on an account. So if you're like me and you're an Altaholic and have 15 tunes, you're not going to get a free upgrade token every time you claim it on each tune. You're only going to get that upgrade token on the first tune you claim it on.
Yes, that's definitely something we want people to keep in mind as well. I wish it worked that way, so you could go back and get it later on. I mean, it'd be cool, but I understand why.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely keep some of that stuff in mind. Everything. They've got some pretty good sales going on. If you're looking to invest, maybe you've been eyeing that temporal ship pack for a while. Maybe you've been looking to go for a set of the pilot ships. Whatever it is, now's definitely a good time to consider investing. And one of my personal favorites is they also brought the keyring bundle back. So if you're looking for some keys, if you're already going to buy a bunch of them anyway, may as well go ahead and spring for the key bundle and get that nice tech upgrade at the same time.
Yes,
but
exactly.
We'll have this in the notes for you
nice
guys.
Bonus.
You can check out some of the stuff for yourselves. And I believe Shum in the chat just posted up the ARC page for people. So if you're in the chat, definitely check that out for the ARC page. And thank you, Shum, for posting that. But
yes, Shum was one of the people on the TeamSpeak that helped us figure out that it's not a Zen purchase, but it is through the website. So thank you, Shum, for helping us out with that.
We'll include that in the notes for you guys so you can get to the ARC page and maybe check out one of these packs for yourselves. But moving right along, we have the Lachi Lockbox that is coming to consoles. Hopefully for you guys, you'll be able to check out some of this stuff. And it looks like they actually have the Elachi Sateth Escort Tier 6. Which this is the upgraded version of the Elachi Esgoth Escort. And it also gives console players access to the Crescent Wave Disruptors. So, and also Elachi
very
Disruptors.
Nice.
So if you're somebody
very nice disruptors, they have a chance for some extra shield penetration. So very, very nice disruptors.
Absolutely. So if you're somebody that loves disruptors, maybe you're like me and you're one of those weirdos that from time to time runs a disruptor rainbow, well, here's another flavor of disruptor for you to add to the mix. Or if you're somebody that's a cannon player and you like the looks of cannons, these are definitely some I'm going to recommend based on looks alone. Everything, because they do look pretty good whenever they fire. I have to say that's
they do.
Probably my favorite set of cannons that they've done. But let's pull up our next article. I believe we actually have some stats. And we do.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so let's see what we got here. For our Sateth Escort, it's a... ooh, and we can open this one at level 40. Sweet. So, it's...
Yeah, that is sweet.
39,000 hull at level 40, and 52,000 base hull at level 60. It's a shield modifier of 1.3. Wow, that's... Wow.
That's pretty high.
That's pretty good for an escort. I'm not used to seeing them going that high. Then we have a 4-3 layout for weapons, which is pretty good. 3 device slots, so you can slot some nice little toys there. Bridge officer layout is a commander tactical station, an ensign engineering, lieutenant commander science, a lieutenant universal / pilot, and lieutenant commander universal pilot. So definitely a pilot ship. Definitely some flexibility
versatile.
there.
Yeah.
You've definitely got most of
Definitely,
your...
definitely versatile. Very, very
Absolutely.
versatile.
We've definitely got your tactical abilities taken care of with the commander seat. You can get pretty much the basic 3 for the lieutenant commander. And you'll have to pick one of the universals to pick up some extra engineering, but, you know, that's not too bad. Even if you pick just the lieutenant, that leaves the lieutenant commander universal for pretty much whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Base turn rate of 16 degrees. Console layout is 5 tac, 2 engineering, 4 science. So a bit more science heavy in my personal opinion. And then the universal console is the Enhanced Crescent Wave Cannon. The Enhanced Crescent Wave Cannon is a potent secondary weapon system. When utilized, the Enhanced Crescent Wave Cannon will drain energy from the ship's forward shields to provide a tremendously potent disruptor blast. This attack can hit up to 5 targets. While this item is called a cannon, it is functionally a console and cannot be slotted into weapon slots. This console also passively provides a bonus to directed energy damage and maximum shield HP. This console mod can be equipped in any console slot, but may only be equipped on Alachi vessels, and you may only have 1 per ship. Which, kind of expected that.
Mm-hmm. And this will most likely have a 2-minute cooldown, many of the consoles do. So,
On average,
yeah, it comes down to if you can fit that in.
Yeah, on average, you'll expect to see about a 2-minute, sometimes 3-minute cooldown, as teacher's saying. It kind of varies on the console, but that's usually the norm, is somewhere in that range. Then, the trait is what interests me a little bit. Then we have the Crescent Wave Discharge Starship trait. While this trait is slotted, activating Beam Overload or any pilot ability generates a Crescent Wave counter for 2 minutes. After obtaining 3 counters, you will fire a devastating Crescent Wave blast at your target, dealing extreme disruptor damage and reducing their damage resistance. So, definitely something interesting there, especially if you're running pilot abilities anyway. Go ahead.
The question is, so what gives you counters? I understand that activating Beam Overload or pilot ability generates a counter. Okay.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if doing that again is what gives you counters. That's what it looks like it's saying.
Yeah, so pretty much as long
That's
as you've got it slotted, the way I'm reading it is as soon as you pop the ability, you get a counter. So it's it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Definitely for our console players.
Yes, it would.
Let us know if, once you get these ships, how they're doing for you guys, because this is something I doubt we'll have on PC for a little bit. But our next ship we have is the Alachi Ornash Battlecruiser. This is the Tier 6 variation of the Monbosch, and this one will be coming out of the low-buy store. At level 40, it starts with 42,000 hull, and at 60, it starts with 56,000 base hull, shield modifier of 1.2, 4-4 layout, 4 device slots. Then the bridge officer stations are a Lieutenant Commander Tactical / Command, a Commander Engineering, an Ensign Science, a Lieutenant Universal / Command, and Lieutenant Commander Universal. So, very interesting layout for the BOFs. Everything.
Yeah.
You can see this being a lot more tankier than the original Monbosch, actually. Then for our console layout, we have 3 tactical, 4 engineering, 4 science, base turn rate of 10. Then it comes with the Battlecruiser Mastery Package, which is interesting. That's the kinetic and physical damage resist, the crit severity, the energy damage resist, the armored hull, and then of course the trait. For the trait, it is the Enhanced Alachi Subspace Receiver, or Transceiver. This multi-function console allows for the remote control of Alachi support craft when used on the Alachi Battlecruiser. This console deploys these craft directly from the ship when used on an Alachi escort or dreadnought cruiser. The transceiver contacts Alachi support craft that are waiting in subspace and control them to warp in and support your ship. This console also passively provides a bonus to maximum hull HP and all damage resist rating. This console mod can be equipped in any slot, but only on Alachi vessels, and only one per ship. So, it's looking like they beefed up the old console from the Mon Bosch, from the way I'm reading that.
Yeah, it does.
Hopefully the numbers pan out for the damage bonus, or for the resistance bonus. I mean, I can't talk today, apparently. But
Words.
yeah, words hard. Then, for the starship trait, we have subspace reinforcements. While this is slotted, activating boarding party or any command ability will cause your starship to summon an Alachi support craft to aid you in battle for 30 seconds. You may have up to 3 support craft aiding you at any time.
It's interesting.
That's...
So I'm wondering what other limitations they put on that. Like, is there a downtime, like with all hands on deck, there's a 5-second downtime between being able to take the time off your captain and science abilities. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a downtime as well where you can't summon anything, as well as having the 3 support craft limit.
The other thing I'm wondering,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely something to take into consideration. The other thing I'm wondering as well is, how good are these support craft going to be? Are they going to be something like the original Mon Bosch type support craft? Are they going to be smaller craft, or how are they going to work? And then,
yeah,
as you were saying, well, what about possibly an internal
what are their
cooldown?
limits?
Yeah.
Well, support craft in this game, it's kind of, it's kind of iffy. You get, of course, the fleet support, which can be amazing if called at the right time, and especially depending on your faction. The Fed faction, oh my god, those things are brilliant. But then you get things like the Nimbus Pirates and the Delta, where because they're time limited, they're, and they have a 5-minute cooldown, they're not as great. They do their thing and then they go, but because they're limited and you can only call them once every 5 minutes and they lock out your fleet support, but this support craft, see, there's a lot of questions for me with this. Does it lock out your fleet support, your Delta? Is there a downtime? So if I call in my 3 and they're there for 30 seconds, is there a downtime before I can summon any more? There's a lot of questions I have about this. It seems from this very brief description that it would be possible to have 3 support craft out all the time, as long as you're hitting command abilities on a regular basis.
Indeed.
I doubt that's the case, but it seems like it would be.
It's definitely something that is going to need some clarification in my book, because that raises a few possibilities that I can think of and everything. But it's definitely something. If we get some information, we'll try to pass it on to you guys. And for any of our console players out there that get a hold of these ships, definitely let us know what you think. Is there a cooldown that you're noticing? Is there anything funky, some kind of caveat or a catch to these traits that we're not seeing? But anyways, we'll have this in the notes for you guys, and y'all can check that out whenever they drop on console as well. But moving right along, we have our winter sales for the PS4.
Yes, so these are a little different than for the PC. So you notice they do get 25% off the C-store. So it looks like Captains will save 25% on all items/packs in-game on PlayStation 4. So, yeah, in addition, they'll be able to enjoy the following discounts in the PlayStation Store. So there's Starfleet Pack, Empire Pack, Legacy Pack, and Final Frontier Bundle. And these are all 20% off. And then starting December 22nd, they have access to special pricing on in-game Zen through the store. So it looks like they're getting 15% off from every bundle, which is a nice discount. And then additional discounts in the play on December 20th. Captains get bonus pricing on the, again, the same packs as before. And then starting on the 22nd, PlayStation Plus users get Zen discounts, and it looks like they get 15% on the 500 and 1000 Zen bundle, 20% on the 2000 and 5000 Zen bundle, and 25% on the top 2 Zen bundles.
Now we should mention, from the way that this is looking, is that you're not actually getting bonus Zen, you're just getting a discount on the normal rates of Zen.
Right.
So that is one thing that does kind of suck for the console users versus PC, but even then, that's some pretty sizable discounts, and if you're looking to buy Zen,
yes, it is.
Definitely a good time to invest.
Yes, it is, and it is important to note this is for the PlayStation 4 console players. There currently is no sale for the Xbox One players. Cryptic has tweeted they have not forgotten about Xbox One players, but there's something going on, and they've been very tight-lipped as to what. They've said the timing has changed, so we don't know what's going on, but they promise you have not been forgotten, Xbox One, so hang in there.
Yes,
You will get a sale.
Definitely hang in there. For you guys, since you're just starting later, I'm suspecting that there's probably going to be some kind of a big bonus in there that you guys may get that the PlayStation 4 might not. Now, again, that is purely speculation on my part. Please don't take that word as law in that instance. That is just me spitballing. But yeah.
Right.
In this case, like I say, definitely if you're looking to buy Zen, if you've been looking to buy ship packs, now's definitely a good time to invest. But,
yes.
Anyways, we'll have this in the notes for you guys. If we hear more about the Xbox One sale or get any more information, we'll try to pass that along to you guys as well. But moving right along,
I will definitely tweet about it if it comes up. So if you follow @Pilot Review Show, you'll get those updates throughout the week. Things like that. So definitely important to have.
Absolutely. But moving right along, we have our K13 special holding unlocks. This is another round of these special projects that they've brought about. These are essentially the cosmetic projects for the fleet and everything. You can get some decent little odds and ends for the looks of your station just by having this up. This project runs from the 22nd all the way into January 5th of the new year. Now, we do want to reiterate for people that have asked in the past and for people that may be wondering, what happens if I can't complete this project for my fleet before the event goes away? The only thing that matters is that you have the project itself slotted. either as the current
Yep.
project or the one that's going to take effect after you clear out the current one. They're not going to take the project away if you don't finish it in time. The only stipulation is, do you have it on your bars? That's all that it cares about. So even if it takes a whole nother year for you to complete that project, you're still going to be able to have access to it. But not too awful much to talk about with that one, I don't guess. But definitely, if you're somebody that enjoys that type of thing, go check it out.
So this will add some much needed shutters to the windows of K13's bar.
Oh,
Better
yes.
safe than sorry.
Because we don't want some poor drunk guy flying off into space after he busts a window out.
Yeah, this is true.
But moving along to our next big thing, we have the Borg Red Alerts coming to console finally. So,
Yay!
if you're one of those people that has been kind of looking for stuff to do on console, maybe something else different, these are something that we've had on PC for a number of years now. They're usually a decent little chunk of marks, everything, a decent little chunk of XP whenever you do them. So, to find the Borg Red Alerts, every so often you may be flying through space, and you may see a little thing in the bottom right corner of your screen that pops up and says, alert in big, bright, bold red letters. It's not something you're going to miss easily. And from there, you can go through any of the alerts that are active. Be it Borg, be it cool, whichever ones you guys have on console. I'm not exactly sure and everything, but definitely...
It looks like they're just doing Borg for now, and it does state in this blog that it's only from Thursday, December 22nd to Monday, December 26th.
Interesting.
So they will be taking this away. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is.
Yeah, that's...
Yep.
definitely interesting. So yeah, definitely...
But it is for all console captains level 50 and up. Romulan players have to have selected a faction. And it explains how this works on the bottom part of the blog. So, pretty easy. You'll see a red alert sign on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Click it. You accept that you're going to go to the Borg Red Alert, and then it'll allow you to choose a queue for the Borg incursion event. And then it'll put you in just like with any of the other queues. It'll put you in, and then you complete it, and then you get to choose your marks.
And as one of the people was saying in chat, he hopes that the red alerts become permanent on console, and hopes that it's just a test run before going permanent. Honestly,
I hope so as well.
That's what I'm suspecting, is that it's going to be trying to see how different the alerts are going to perform on the consoles versus how they're going to perform on the PC. And I personally don't see them, unless they're going to do something special for it console-wise, I don't see them leaving these red alerts out for too long, or leaving them off the consoles to where they're inaccessible. Because to me, that, I don't know, I just can't see it. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. But yeah, like I say, that is, again, speculation on our part. Don't take that as law and what's actually going to happen. That's just us spitballing as to what might become of this.
But it is a nice little role-playing blog if you want to read the second officer's log. Going into it, it is kind of cute.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
But anyways, moving right along, we're gonna go ahead and hit our budget build for this week and everything. For our budget build, I decided to do something a little bit different and whatnot, and we're going to do a budget build for the Harold Quas Flight Deck Cruiser. This is a Tier 6 ship. But as far as our weapons go, we did a mid-range budget for the ship itself. We have several of the anti-proton beam arrays that you can pick up from the Blood of the Ancients mission. These start out with Crit D ×2 ACC, and they start at Mark 12, so some very good beams there on the cheap. One of our purchased items was a Herald beam array from the exchange. These can go anywhere from as low as 500k to upwards of 3.5 million, so you got to kind of play the market, find the best modifiers, that sort of thing to get these. And then for our aft weapons, we did call into use the Ancient Anti-Proton Omni this go around. Decided to mix this up from my usual budget builds a little bit. For our deflector, our impulse engines, and our shields, we have the Soul Defense Space set. Now, what makes the Soul Defense set so good is the 2-set bonus and the 3-set bonus that it gives. The 2-set bonus gives some kinetic damage resist, as all energy damage resist as well. So essentially it's a free neutronium armor just by having these pieces equipped on the ship. Then the 3-set, what is so good about it is it gives you a very big and powerful spherical heal. Whenever you throw it, it can affect you and a couple of your friends as well. And in a pinch, this can give back quite a bit of health. And in terms of the burst healing, can actually compete with the Kobali set. So, very, very good there. But, moving right along to our warp core and then our consoles. For our warp core, we actually did use the obelisk core this go around, just as something different. I know normally I like to use the temporal phased warp core for the capacitor, which is a viable alternative to the obelisk core if you don't like it. But the reason we used the Ancient Omni and the obelisk core in this case is for the 10% bonus anti-proton damage. Now, that may not be a lot, but it's just to change the build up a little bit, to squeak out a little bit of extra AP damage. On the budget end, that's something that you might want to look into if anti-proton is your thing. As far as our devices go, I left those blank because to me those are purely personal preference. However, as for some devices I can recommend, there's the subspace field modulator that comes from the skirmish mission. It's a nice little damage resist in a pinch whenever you need it. Then you also have the energy amplifier batteries from the crafting schools that can give you a damage boost for a short time. Then for our consoles, for engineering, we have the Trillium D plating from Ragnarok. Gives a bit of a damage resistance as well as a shield capacity boost. We have our Bioneural Gel Pack for the Bridge Officer cooldown reduction. And after reading that, I realized I may have pulled a stupid with another part of the build, but we'll look at that in a minute. Then we have our Plasmonic Leech console. Now, if you're a Federation player, you will have to purchase this from the exchange. Or if you're a Fed-aligned Romulan, you will have to purchase it from the exchange. They're going for about 3.5 million at the moment, at the time that we recorded this.
Yes.
Then, for another big-ticket item, we used the Polymorphic Probe Array for the anti-proton boost that it gives, and the probes can be kind of nice as well in a pinch if you need something. But overall, the anti-proton boost is why you're going to want it. This is a universal console, so you can put it in pretty much any slot that you want. Then for our mid-range budgets, usually we always assume a maximum EC spending limit of 30 million energy credits and enough dilithium to take one item up to epic quality. This go around, we decided to take the assimilated module to our gold quality. And that's going to be our epicked out item for this week. It gives some nice stats overall, a bit of critical chance, a bit of critical severity, and everything. Eventually, once you get into the higher levels of gear, you might consider replacing this with a tachyokinetic converter. But in the meantime, on the lower end of the budgets, this is definitely a great console to have. And even then, in the higher levels of gear, it's nice to have if you've got the space for it. For our science consoles, we went with 3 of the plasma generating amplifiers from the Embassy. I didn't specify a modifier on this. Typically, Drain X or Control X is what I like to go for. Pretty much any of them will work. The main reason you're going to want them is for the plasma explosions and the threat boost that they give. That's a big thing with these consoles, is by having them equipped, you can get anywhere from a 112% boost to threat all the way up to 150% once they're fully decked out. So definitely something big to have there. For our tactical consoles, we went with 3 of the anti-proton mag regulators. These you can either pick up off the exchange, usually for very cheap. You can also craft them as another big thing. And then for our hanger, I realize I didn't slot that now because I kind of made this in a hurry. But as far as the hanger goes, I usually prefer to use the stuff that comes with the ship. So that's pretty decent as far as our equipment goes. And we'll take a quick look at our skills. For our specializations, I went with pilot as the primary. Probably not a surprise to some of our viewers out there at this point, knowing me. But I went with pilot for the immunities that it can give, as well as some of the nice defensive bonuses it can give. And then I went with strategist as the secondary for some of the abilities that it has, as well as the diversionary tactics, which is nice, which can function as an AoE taunt if need be, and a bit of a threat boost. For our space skills, pretty much general build you've seen me use before. Everything, I found pretty good success with this build and everything. Now, you don't have to for your skills. You don't have to have exactly this. This is just one that I personally have found a lot of success with. That's why I like to recommend it. Scroll down so you can see the commander and captain skills. Now, people may notice that I personally do not utilize any of the ultimate abilities, or what are considered the ultimate abilities in my builds. I personally, for my own preference, feel that I have to give up way too much in other areas to warrant picking up one of the abilities. Now, if you're somebody that wants to use one of the ultimates, you want to use the engineering, the tac, or the psi ultimate, you definitely can do it. They're definitely fun abilities. They definitely have their uses. I personally, they're just not my cup of tea, so that's why I don't use them. But moving right along, and yes, I did forget the bridge officer abilities. Like a dunce. So, let's go through here, and I'll get this out like I normally would, I believe. So, for Lieutenant Commander Tactical, let me go ahead and throw these abilities on before I brain fart and forget again. For Lieutenant Commander Tactical, pretty much similar to what you've seen me do. As far as before, we have our Tactical Team 1, which redistributes our shields, purges things like the boarding parties. We have our Beam Fire at Will 2, which allows us to smack everything in range with our beams. And then for our attack pattern, I went with Omega because it's a decent attack pattern. You can use it for offensive or defensive purposes, whichever you need. It'll provide a good little damage boost, a little bit of resistance, and it'll also get you out of tractor beams. Now, some people aren't really fans of Omega. They prefer to use something like Beta 2 or go for Beta 1 and then use a Fall 3. Again, you can use pretty much any one of the attack patterns. In this case, it is purely personal preference. Even attack pattern Delta would be good. It just kind of depends on which way you want to go with the build, what works best for you. But, let's see here if I can remember how I had my quas set up.
So we're looking at the Ensign Universal.
Moment. Alright, for the Commander Engineering, everything, I went with the Engineering Team 1, the Reverse Shield Polarity 1. Both of these allow you to recharge, while the Engineering Team allows you to recharge a little bit of hull, purge certain debuffs, The reverse shield polarity allows you to regen your shields in a pinch. The emergency power to weapons 3 obviously boosts your weapons power and gives a little bit of a damage boost. Now, you will need an engineering officer to train this for you if you're not an engineer, or you can pick it up off of the exchange. Then the final ability we had for our commander engineering slot is the warp bubble ability. This one you get from, I believe it was the Delta Flight mission. And essentially what this does is you hit this ability, it sends out a pulse for hitting anything within 4 kilometers, and it debuffs their damage. It can be, I think it's around 30% for rank 1, and then once you get to rank 3, it's about 42% damage reduction to the enemy. Now you can combo this up with other command abilities to make a very, very potent thing there. So in terms of damage reduction, this is one of my favorite abilities to use, because I've yet to see a hard upper limit with this ability. Pretty much, if you have 50 enemies within a 4-kilometer sphere, you smack that ability, you're essentially now, for the duration of that debuff, only fighting 25 ships. So, very, very potent. Definitely not one to be taken lightly. Let's see, I'm trying to remember exactly how I had this ship set up originally. I brain farted hard before the show, people, and yeah, that's pretty much what I did there. Where is that ability? I'll go ahead and fill these out real quick, and then we can yak about some of this stuff. There it is. If I can find it now. There we go. Okay, for the rest of our abilities and everything. For the Lieutenant Commander Science Command, I went with the Overwhelm Emitters and the Rally Point ability. The Overwhelm Emitters, very good. Drains a little bit of shields and everything, restores them to me, so that's a very great thing to have in a pinch. Then we also have Rally Point. Essentially, you throw this up as long as you stay in there. Occasionally you'll be granted some healing effects that can restore your hull, and this works not just for you, but also for the people around you as well, and as soon as you enter you'll be granted an engineering team effect, essentially. Then for our Ensign Universal, I went with a science ability, and I decided to go with Hazard Emitters 1. Purges the hazard debuffs off of the ship, as well as granting a heal over time, and also granting a tiny bit of damage resistance. So, very good thing to have there. For our Lieutenant Commander Science / Intel, or no, that's a Lieutenant Commander Universal Intel, my bad.
Yes.
But, I saw the Science console, got ahead of or Science buff, got ahead of myself. But for our abilities, I went with a Science Officer for this one. And we have a Science Team 1. This gives a bit of shield regeneration as well as purges science debuffs. Went with Feedback Pulse 1 because it's a nice thing to have. It's free damage essentially. Everything. Then I also went with the Override Subsystem Safeties 3 as our intel power for the ship. Now, some people don't like to use the Science Team ability because they don't really find it of use. They think it's not that great in certain content. Me personally, I like to have it because it is a decent little bit of shield regen once you get it buffed up and everything. But for me, like I say, just personal preference. You could swap that out for something else if you wanted to. Maybe a Subspace Vortex. Maybe a... can you get a DRB at Ensign rank? I don't remember if you can or not.
No.
Okay, well, you can't do that then, but, yeah. Like I say, there's alternatives if you don't like the Science Team, but it's something there.
You could use a Polarized Hull if you want an extra hull heal. But, Science Team is a nice little, shield heal. It does give shield hardness as well. And there are some things that only Science Team can clear off of your There are some hazards
Yes.
that only Science Team can clear. So it is a nice little thing to have.
One of the major reasons I like to have it is I hate Subnuke with a burning passion when enemies use it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Science Team is the only way to clear that debuff. And for somebody like me that actually relies
There you
on
go.
threat, yeah, that's another reason I like to have it. But as far as our
There
intel
you
power
go.
goes, we have the Override Subsystem Safeties 3. This is very good because it essentially allows you to access additional power while this is up. So if your power normally caps out at 125, if you have extra effects that are going on, you could get as high as, I've seen some people hit as high as 195 power in a system. I don't know how they do it all the time, but I just know that is a possibility that could happen. But yeah,
Well, it would be chaining
have
things
ideas.
in the right order, and yeah. It's chaining
Yeah.
things in the right order, like hitting your override subsystems, then hitting your emergency power to weapons, then hitting a weapon battery, you know, that kind of thing.
But yeah,
And I'm giving a very,
basic.
very
Yeah.
simplified thing, yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, this is, pretty much a general basic build and everything. As far as the Override Subsystems 3, you'll probably have to purchase that off the exchange or have somebody train it for you. But pretty much a basic build. It should do fairly well for you guys overall and everything. But I did include some notes as to where you can get some things. I'll have to add that in for one or two things there. For our traits, we have the Ablative Shell trait. This is one of the ones that we will have to purchase from the exchange or crack from a lockbox. This is our other big money item. This grants some damage resistance over... getting tongue-tied. You know what? Let's see, is my character... Okay, my character is signed in. Let me just go ahead and pull this up for you guys. For the...
Ablative shell.
Ablative
yeah,
Shell, so you can see the tooltip in game. It does grant a little bit of healing, and it grants some damage resistance. Then for the Beam Barrage, this is 2% all beam damage bonus for 30 seconds, stacking up to 3 times, so 6% bonus. Then we have the Give Your All. This is a 20% damage dodge for 3 seconds. Now, those two traits come from the Beam and Engineering crafting schools, respectively. The reason I use those is because they are great traits, and they are free. I also assume for my budget builds that you're going to level 1, maybe 2 schools as you're coming up. Maybe one of your fleet mates is going to tell you to do that, or what have you, but that's the assumption and why those are typically present in the budget builds. But we also have the Beam Training, which is a free 5% beam damage. We have Elusive for free defense value. We also have Last Ditch Effort for our career-specific trait. If you're not a tactical captain, then you'll just use your career-specific trait. I believe it's Grace Under Fire for engineers, and then Photonic Capacitor for science. Isn't that the one they have? Can't remember the exact trait name off the top of my head, but whatever the career-specific is.
Yeah, photonic capacitors for science.
Then you'll also want Operative for free crit chance and severity. Not the greatest bonus ever, but it's something nice to have. Then we have Point Blank Shot. This is a free trait that comes from the House Peg mission. And then we have Imposing Presence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
And
gives
then-
you some extra threat gen.
As somebody pointed out, the Ablative Shell is going for about 10 million on the exchange. Like I say, this is one of the other big ticket
Ew.
items with the ship and everything. But we'll talk the budget overall in just a minute. For our Starship traits, we went with the improved pedal to the metal because, pilot school and everything. It is a very nice little trait to have, especially if you're always on the go and you're always at full power. It is very, very nice to have. And then we have the best defense trait. Your attack patterns grant a whole healing buff along with their normal effects. So, very, very great trait to have. Everything, especially if you're using a lot of attack patterns. For our space reputation, I went with the advanced targeting systems for the free crit severity. I believe it's about 16% free severity. Then we have the precision for 4% free critical chance. We have energy refrequencer that's for every bit of damage you heal, you're granted a percentage of that back to you as whole healing. So very good there. And then we have the chronocapacitor array. This is free bridge officer cooldown reductions, and this comes from the temporal reputation. As far as our active reps go, we have the anti-time entanglement singularity from temporal. We have the biomolecular shield generator, which is a very nice defensive ability. We have the quantum singularity manipulation from Romulans, which buffs your science stats and gives you a brief cloaking effect. Then we also have the deploy sensor interference platform, which essentially poofs up a little sensor platform that taunts enemies to attack it instead of you. Now,
it's interesting because I would have put the.
Oh, go ahead.
I would have put up the tier 5 Nukara. The oh goodness, words don't fail me now.
Tetragon thing.
Yes, the refracting Tetragon cascade. Thank you.
Yeah. Which it is a viable option. It really is.
Yeah.
But like I say, for the active rep abilities, kind of you'll want to experiment a little bit, see what works best for you. Everything. I believe there's only 5. Is there only 5 active space at the moment?
There are only 5 right now.
Okay, so at the moment, then if you unlock the 5th trait slot, you can have all 5 space rep abilities active. But like I say, for me, this is personal preference. If you want to use the Tetron, you can definitely do it. Now, a combination that Teacher Kirby does like to point out, everything that you can do is if you use, say, an exotic battery, then follow up with your quantum manipulation and throw your anti-time bubble, you're going to do a heck of a lot more damage with it than you otherwise normally would. So, very potent, very powerful combo. Definitely something that we want to make note of.
Yes, definitely. And it's interesting that you chose the science for the universal/intel. I would have put that as attack. I mean, you know me, I like to use beta, attack pattern beta, instead of omega. It's got a much shorter cooldown, and it allows you to use Fire at Will 3 instead of Fire at Will 2. So that gives you a lot more damage there. So I would have put the universal as a tactical. I would have put 2 copies of Fire at Will 3, 2 copies of beta. Actually, I would have put a copy of Fire at Will 3. I would have left the Override Subsystem Safeties 3, and then I would have put a Fire at Will 2 and a copy of beta as my lieutenant slots, and then I would have put a copy of Tactical Team, well, 2 copies of Tactical Team since this is a budget build. I would have put 2 copies of Tac Team and then left it at that. And then for the science, I would have left the Ensign Universal as science, and then for the science/command, instead of the overwhelm emitters, I would have put the your science team there, so you could get that in, and then I would have left the rally point marker. That allows you to double up on your tac skills, so you get the most out of them.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of flexibility with this ship, and definitely not one to be taken lightly. Everything. So, like I say, me and Teacher, we do kind of bounce ideas off of each other like this on air, to show that you do have options. You know, like I say, this is just what I personally, put up there and what I chose. Like she's saying, if you want to swap it out for a tactical officer, you can definitely do that. If you want to
Yes.
swap out your attack patterns, you can definitely do that. There's no set in stone best way to build a ship. There's no set in stone best, oh, it's
Exactly.
this winner take all and that's it. If somebody tells you
Right.
otherwise, to be perfectly blunt, they're lying to you. But yeah, like I
Just
say,
remember, trying to get the most DPS is not fun for everybody.
exactly.
So, yeah.
If you're somebody that likes to chase ones and zeros, hey, I mean, more power to you. I hope you do good. Me, I'm more of a tank person. That's just what I enjoy doing. But
Exactly.
overall, this particular build, we did use a lot more of our EC budget than normal. This totally came out to about 27 million. It was just a hair under, so
Ugh.
you may as well say 27 mil. But like I say, for our mid-range budgets, we assume a maximum limit of 30 million, and then our dilithium enough to get one item to epic quality. So this is pushing the ends of the budget a little bit,
Yeah.
but
And there are some fleets out there that do like holiday and end of the year giveaways where they'll have a party. So pay attention to the events in your fleet. You know, when you log into your fleet and you pull up the fleet tab, look at the tabs. There's one that says events. Pay attention to that, because that'll tell you if your fleet leader is diligent about posting things like the parties and whatnot. But that should tell you if there's an event coming up where there's going to be a giveaway, something like that.
yeah. But anyway, we'll have this in the notes for you guys. You can check that out. I'm actually gonna go ahead and
Or even fleet banks. There are fleet banks where they keep things similar to this.
definitely gonna save that and override that. But anyway, not really too much for the buggy corner that I can really go into this week. Everything. I am still working on some stuff behind the scenes for you guys, whatnot. You know, once a lot more of this stuff gets fixed, I'll be able to talk about it and everything. But as always, I do want to say, you know, for our console players, for everybody, you know, if you do see an issue, then feel free to report it to me, to one of these guys on the show, and everything. You know, they'll get it to me, everything. I can get it tested, reported, all that stuff, get it into the devs. If you want to go onto the forums, that's definitely a good place to do it. That's actually where a lot of my reports come from, is that, and
Yes.
then from these screwballs here, because they're very good at breaking things. And very good at
By
giving
the
me
way,
paperwork and aneurysms. Yes.
well, I thought it was quite funny and I wanted to share it. So this past week, I broke the Winter Wonderland. I did.
Oh
I ate
Lord.
eaten
I know where
pies.
she's going with this.
You know where I'm going.
I know where
I
she's
was
going
eating
with this.
pie. I was eating pie and I had to go AFK for a little bit. And I come back and apparently I had been killed by the snowmen. And you know how you're not supposed to die on the Winter Wonderland? Well, apparently I had died while I was AFK and had fallen down the whole bit. And so I was going to head up to the main area. Well, I go to move away from the pie eating brain and I'm laying flat. I'm like, what the heck? So I'm laying flat and I'm just scooting along, just laying flat along the, you know, to me, I'm like in the dead pose, you know, arm up and leg, you know, leg all cocked and everything. And I'm just scooting along in the snow like it's nothing, like I'm on some sled or something. I get all the way up to the thing. I had one of the guys log in and take a look at me. I looked perfectly normal to him. So I took a screenshot for this guy. Told him I broke Winter Wonderland. It was quite an entertaining glitch.
Yeah. You say there's weird stuff like that can happen
Yep.
pretty much anytime. That's not
And
even the weirdest thing she's ever reported
no,
to me,
it's not.
folks. It's not. I mean,
And some of my guys are still getting knocked out of the game when they delete emails.
yeah. I say, like I say, there's still some stuff to be fixed and everything. I know I do want to say it does take time
Yeah.
to get things fixed. It's annoying. I get it. Believe me, as a techie, it annoys me when I can't fix stuff as quick as I want.
Yes.
But like I say, they do see the reports. They do read the reports. It may take them a little bit to get it fixed. But in the end, by actually reporting the issues, you actually do a lot more help than you people actually believe you do.
Yes.
But, anyways, moving along to the Teacher's Corner, we have the
All
Temporal Defense Initiative space set. Take it away, teacher.
Yes. So this is from the Temporal Reputation. And if you've looked at it, you've probably guessed this is a science-friendly set. So there's a lot of science things in it. It's interesting, the deflector is not the highest source of exotic particle generators in the game. So it's actually kind of interesting if you want higher exotic particle gens to really drive up your exotic damage, you might have to use only 3 pieces of this set rather than 4. But that's discussed in the video. The reasons that you might do that. But yeah, so it's actually a very interesting set for science heavy builds. And there's 3-piece and 4-piece set bonuses. So check it out. It's definitely quite an interesting set.
Absolutely. I personally, as far as tank sets go, I put this one up there close to the Kobali. Just from how good it's able to do. So from
I
a
can
tank
see that.
perspective, it's actually pretty good. If you get the regeneration stacked really high, you can, and I actually did this over on Tribble whenever we were originally testing it. I could actually pull the entire instance of Starbase 24 and not die because the regeneration was that good. I don't know if I could still do that, but it's definitely a great set. And you won't be disappointed. Yeah, definitely check out Teacher's video. She'll give you guys the rundown on everything. But, normally we would have the RP corner from Artie, but Artie's not here this week. He's off doing Christmassy things, which we'll all probably be doing tomorrow. But that's pretty much our show for this week, folks. Everything. But for those out there that are listening to us out on Twitch and everything, for everybody that may see this afterwards, we hope everybody has a very safe and Merry Christmas or Happy Holiday for whatever you celebrate. And we hope you all get plenty of food, good stuff, everything. But definitely a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from us at the Pilot Review Show and everything. And I'm going to pretend that guy didn't say that on air. But,
now you're gonna have to tell.
Yeah. So, y'all should see what that guy said in a minute. But, anyways, folks, from everybody at the Pilot Review Show, stay safe. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and everything. But, for now, this is the Pilot Review Show, and we're signing off.
Merry Christmas.